Hi everyone, welcome to Brain Awareness Week that we are celebrating today, and this is courtesy of Dana Foundation grants. We are actually looking at the importance of the brain because our children suffer so much in one way or another when they are affected with the neurological issues that affects their mortality, their movement, their motor activities. So as parents, you need to understand and we need to be aware amongst ourselves that it is not the cultural issues and cultural practices that makes the children to have the conditions that they have. The Adana Foundation has sponsored this particular event to help you understand the brain functions. And what is the function of the brain? The brain helps every human being to understand themselves, to communicate with others, to be aware of their own environment, to carry out their daily functionalities, and be able to lead normal life. Anyone who doesn't have the proper functionality of the brain has a mental illness. So everybody who walks and everybody who interacts with one another, sometimes not everybody is well. There are cases of people who have ill health, and ill health and mental health are related. So we need to be aware. Now among yourselves and ourselves, we find that parents are locking their children simply because they are ashamed that these children are not normal like other children. But you are not the cause of those particular issues that are disturbing the child. There are factors that are causing autistic spectrum disorder among children. These factors has been identified by various researchers that have undertaken areas in autistic spectrum disorder. So the research is still required in this area. Others include the genetic code, which may increase the high risk of autism. We also find age factors, literary skills, clinical therapies, community responses. All those areas are related with autistic spectrum disorder in one way or another, and therefore we need to embark, especially scholars at the universities need to embark on how the students, how children and members of the community can be helped who are suffering this situation. There are cultural factors that affects the children with autistic spectrum disorder. Lack of treatment protocols that is required also hinders treatment to be achieved. And lack of institutional and government support in the hospital. I am sure you suffered guidance, you suffered mentorship, you suffered support, especially when you want to know why your children behave the way they do. The government hospitals are overwhelmed with this situation, and therefore parents suffer stigma and discrimination, and families have even broken down because everyone is denying that I'm not the cause of this particular situation. The prevalence rate across Africa and across the globe is heightening, and there's comprehensive review by Lauren Lambers et al. And these publications ranging to over 53 publications. That tells you that a lot of research still needs to be done. What are some of the things you observe among your children who are affected with autistic spectrum disorder? You find that they have inability to relate to others, they are oversensitive, they have inappropriate ways of playing, they are completely hyperactive in as far as passiveness is concerned. They also have inappropriate way of laughing or crying. There's poor speech. Nutrition is a big problem to them. There's strange attachment to objects because you just don't understand them. And there's even lack of awareness on the dangers around them. They can just be walking on the road and they're not even aware that where they are is a problem. And there's difficulty in dealing with the routine daily way of relating is a problem. So why are we creating the Brain Awareness Week? So that you can support one another. You can reach out to one another, and you can demystify the cultural inhibitions that is hindering you from allowing children to access school, to access literary skills, to make the children start moving and being independent, to be able to do things by themselves. Also to access clinical therapies so that they can learn how to bathe, how to, carry out daily functionings of themselves. And so that you can have psycho-education support, you can have professional support, and that will help you to move together in understanding how children who are suffering autistic spectrum disorder suffer, and you as parents also to have support and referral that is required. Thank you so much for coming, and we hope that we will continue having this series to enlighten ourselves about this condition and neurological issues that affect our children. Most welcome.